One man is dead and another wounded in Bronx.
Where are you?
The hustle never stops. Never.
And it don't
Let's talk
stop.
about achieving that 1% status. I'm gonna be completely transparent and honest. I'm just aspiring for that 10% status, meaning 10% top of my peer group, 10% top of my industry, 10% top of my game. I'm content with being in the top 10% because you know what, dude? A lot of people stop at 90% because it's tough to get to 90%. It's just tough to get to that point. I, as a competitor, aspire to get above that. So if I'm in the top 10%, I'm good. And I'll tell you what, man, it's all about legacy, bro. I'm 33 years young. A lot of people say the word old when it comes to their age. I'm 33 years young. I got 3 kids to raise, and I got a lot of people to inspire, motivate, and educate. And as long as I got air in my lungs, that's what I'm gonna continue to do day in and day out. We'll talk.
And it don't quit. I'm sick of walking out of my building and looking both ways.
Here's a Herschel supply bag. I bring it everywhere with me. I'm on airplanes every week, going to different conferences and speaking, and I bring this bag with me. It's perfect as a carry-on for those flights. I'll throw in my clothes in here, my shoes, I can throw in my camera, and I'm good to go. Let's get it.
Starbucks on the corner, they got arrested by it. Ain't no one testifying, pleading the fifth. And police are getting sued because they beat them to shit. And we don't know our own rights because they don't read us.
A lot of people have asked me how I got set up with Nasdaq to record out of their beautiful facility here in San Francisco. So I was in Charlotte, North Carolina last year speaking at a conference, and I met the person that runs social media for all of Nasdaq. He's up in New York. And at the time, I was recording content on Snapchat, saving it to my camera roll, and then putting it on YouTube. And it was good content, but it wasn't really at the level of the quality that I was really proud to share and show off. And I came in here, recorded a couple episodes, and not gonna lie, I was a little nervous. It's intimidating when you're under the bright lights of a studio and you have cameras in front of you. But networking. My dad always told me since I was a kid that networking will save your life. And social media is great because it helps you connect and network with people all over the world. But ultimately, that's only gonna get you so far. You have to go outside your comfort zone and meet people. And this is a good example of when you go outside and you network with people in person, what can come out of it. Again, meeting someone who runs social media for a very powerful brand like Nasdaq has now resulted in me being able to do a weekly show in their studio, which has also opened up other doors and opportunities for me as well.
Follow us, but ain't no leaders in this.
You hear a lot about self-awareness and being self-aware, but the most important thing that you gotta know is that there's always someone or something that's looking at you. What we are on is a big stage, and on this stage there's always someone that's looking and paying attention. So make sure that the content you're putting out, make sure every move you make is a strategic move. You don't wanna make moves just to make moves. You wanna make strategic moves because there's always someone that's watching. And having a sense of self-worth or having a sense of self-awareness is being aware of everyone and everything that's around you, and that's real talk.
Hustle through the struggle with the past, and I say past presently, cause the present is irrelevant for what's meant.
Me and my man here were just talking. I don't want to talk problems, I want to talk about solutions. People don't get paid to come up with problems. People get paid to resolve people's problems with solutions. And you see it? It's right there, in black and white. Now, Instagram is the hot platform to invest in. This is where people are spending their time. A platform like Twitter is right now where you go to buy low because people are jumping off of Twitter, and Twitter's not growing at the same rate and speed as, say, Snapchat and Instagram. So that's my analogy, is social media is just like the stock market. You buy low, you can potentially reap the benefits of getting in early or getting in when people aren't necessarily all in and paying attention. And I'll tell you what, when you look at a platform like Twitter, which isn't going away, and I think it's not going away because you see someone like President Trump who's injected new life in the platform, when you look at a platform like Twitter, now is the time to actually go all in, because now's where you can actually swoop in and get people's attention because you have less content creators. Let's face it, the more content creators you have and the more influencers that you have on a platform, it means the more market share that you're competing for with them. The same way that brands compete for market share, people compete for market share all day. I'm competing with other content creators' market share, other content creators competing with my market share, and that's how this whole social media ecosystem works. No more and no less. I don't think a competitor is ever content and satisfied with the outcome of his work. I think if you look at Tom Brady, he wants to win as many Super Bowls as he possibly can while he's playing the game. He's not content with 5. Jordan retired with 6 rings. I'm sure Jordan wanted to win 1 for each finger. So I think that's the true competitor, is you always want more, you're always striving to get more. Look at your personal journey on a scale from 0 to 100%. The first 0 to 40% is all the sweat equity that you put in. It's the experience that you gain from failing. It's the experience you gain from things not working out. It's the experience you gain from bad relationships, bad partnerships. That's all 0 to 40. Trust me, the hardest thing for a lot of people to do is to get started. You gotta just get started. Whatever your dreams, goals, and aspirations are, you just have to get started. If you're at 0 to 40%, which is hard, and I guarantee you, if you're able to get over the hump of 40% and you work on the next 40 to 90% scale, in that period, you're gonna start making money. You're gonna start taking those experiences, the failure, and you're gonna start seeing the results of work. Because you've already learned, you've already fallen on your face, and now you're climbing. The hardest thing to do is to jump from 90% to 100. And the reason why is because as you start seeing success in business, you tend to stop. You're content with your house. You're content with your car. You're content with your status. And a lot of people stop, and that's okay. But the true competitor is never content with what he or she has. The true competitor wants to continue to push himself or herself to that next level. And when you look at individuals out there that are doing it, that are pushing themselves to get to that 100% status, a lot of people call it the 1%. I say you got to focus on that 10% from 90 to 100. That 10% is the hardest thing for you to accomplish because not a lot of people get through that 10%. So again, you gotta get started, you gotta fail, you gotta gain experience, and you gotta keep pushing all the way through. And don't ever stop and don't ever let up if you wanna get to the top of the summit. And that's real talk.
Now I ain't here to brag, or neither did I hustle on the Ave. Hustle through the struggle with the past, and I say past presently, cause the present is irrelevant for what's meant for me. 24, been here since 98, that's 17 years in the South Boogie. Rogers to be exact, been here since 9-5, that's 3 years on Kelly Street.